issues relating to governance in this country, not only at the highest level, but also from the lowest level, and also how much of a role leadership plays in our politics. I'm being joined by Dr. Linus Okorie, who is a leadership development consultant. Thanks so much, Dr. Okorie. It's good to see you again.
Always good to see you.
The last time the gray hairs were not as this much. But it's a sign of wisdom, they say, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. We are at that point, and I said something earlier that the best of us should be leading the most of us. And why are the worst of us sometimes leading the best of us? And those who have accused an average citizen of being laid back, of being idle in terms of active participation in a citizenship role in electing or recruitment of leadership in this country. But first and foremost, how bad is our leadership recruitment process in this country?
So, Shehu, the truth of the matter is that at the moment, the deficit of leadership capital across board is alarming. So what that means is that for any nation to make progress, right, there must be a critical mass of the people who think and act like leaders. So what it means is that if people who are going to make decisions, if it is just to vote, decisions to vote people into power, whether it's local government, whether it is state governorship, or whatever it is, if those people do not think like leaders, if they don't act like leaders, what will happen is that they will think like slaves. They will think like people who take the temporal things more seriously than the long-term things, which means stomach infrastructure will overshadow the thinking of those types of individuals. So they'll make decisions for now. They will not make decisions for the future. So most of the time when we talk about leadership, we always look at those who are occupying public positions. Most of the people who occupy public positions are not necessarily leaders. They are occupying positions of leadership as a result of whichever way that they were thrown up.
So let's get it clear. So anybody that you see in public office today,
yes,
we term and see them as leaders.
No, they're not. No, they're not necessarily leaders.
Okay.
They are not necessarily leaders. Positions.
So it's like if you see any human being in Nigeria, does not necessarily mean that he's a Nigerian.
Absolutely.
So anybody in a position of authority is not literally a leader.
No, it's not necessarily.
So what makes a leader?
So they are occupying public positions. So I give you two quick definitions of leadership. That helps us. Dr. Miles Monroe defined leadership as the ability to inspire, motivate, drive a group of people towards a particular direction via inspiration, not intimidation or manipulation. At the center of that definition, influence is at the heart of it. So if you are a person, whether occupying position or not, you have the ability, based on what you have become, based on what people see that you have become. You are somebody who is interested in the growth of other people. You are somebody who is interested in having great vision for the future, helping others, by inspiring them, motivating them.
Not by intimidating.
Not by intimidating them. So you have a system whereby people help people to become much more.
So legitimacy of office or of leadership is also very critical.
It's important. So what we're saying here is that my own definition of transformational leadership is that concept of leadership that places value on people, premium on people, inspired by vision and supported by sound principles. And those sound principles, they are what changes the leader himself.
So two things here, Dr. Okorie. Vision and principles.
Yes.
So principles goes beyond only having good character,
absolutely,
but also having the traits of someone who you can emulate. Right.
Absolutely.
Now, having the vision, so anybody that cannot clearly state a vision of where it's leading others to,
absolutely,
and who does not have the ability of in character and in competence cannot be a leader.
Absolutely.
That's what you're saying.
So this definition of leadership, you know, so it's cuts all across. If you're a business leader, you own your business, you are somebody from the village. And that's why if you notice, you see an individual in the village who has not gone to school, has not even gone to school. But this individual over time has been able to impact the lives of people around him, and the way he has conducted himself or she has conducted herself in such a way that people can now respect that individual. See, when that individual rises to speak, right, every other person is quiet. They are inspired by him, but he didn't go to school. But he can mobilize the entire community in a single conversation.
But why is, I mean, I like, so I see a billboard here in Abuja. I see that you're bringing the likes of Brian Tracy tonight. This is a very prominent leadership coach and a development person. And I'm imagining, we've heard and sing and listen to a lot of people who talk about all of these issues. But the fundamental is, how does it affect the bottom line of our own leadership question in the country? Why is it that we have the worst of us leading the best of us? Are we able to answer that question tonight?
So the thing is that if Nigerians, you have a critical mass of Nigerians, remember, who think like leaders, who are leaders, even though they occupy positions, and the only decision they make is to ensure that they use their power of decision to ensure that those who are coming to be local government chairmen at that level are people who have certain metrics. There are metrics you can use to measure. Do these people want to occupy positions? Do they have vision? Are they people of courage? Are they action people? Do they take action for the good of the people? Are they selfless? Are they selfless? Has there been any specific proof that over time, because we know them in our communities, that they have proven that even without positions, they have added value to those that are around them? What is their mental capacity, their ability to think, you know, for the sake of the community? You know, and as Osano wrote a book and titled it, Leaders Eat Last. Does this individual, does he have the capacity to eat last?
When other people, when his
absolutely
people have not eaten.
Absolutely. Does he have the capacity to think beyond himself?
So we are probably in a country where our leaders are feeding fat, and their people are looking lean.
So the context of the conversation is that what we are saying is that you need a critical mass of people, remember, who think differently. And let me even say this, even the dealer in hope, every leader must be a dealer in hope.
To be able to sell hope.
There is a leadership language. Every individual.
So hope is very important.
Hope is important.
You need to be able to sell it properly.
Absolutely. Let me even say this to you, right? If a critical mass of people at this point in time believe that this country can work, take for instance, right? Election is over, right? Now we're supposed to be having governance in place, right? If everybody says, you know what, can we, for instance, throw all our support to a Nigeria that will work for everybody? The language, the way we describe Nigeria, the way we talk about Nigeria as a failed state, all those kinds of conversation. If we can change that type of conversation, it takes a lot of leadership development efforts for those type of conversation to change. What does that mean? It means that there must be huge investment in mindset transformation. The people have been hurt. The people over a period of time been disappointed. There's this thing that most people no longer believe, right? In anything called politics in that sense, right? So they are dissatisfied with what has been going on over a long period of time. Therefore, the tendency will be that when people speak about this country, it will be in hate. When people speak about this country, it will not be something that is inspirational. So at the end of the day, it is important that we all begin to build a new mindset. So that is critical.
It's difficult to be able to unite the nation and move them in a direction after the election if you don't have the ability to sell hope.
Absolutely. Now, so vision will be the driving force for that.
Where are we going? You must have the local government chairman to be able to tell the people.
This is where we're going.
I want to make this local government a granite producing local government.
Absolutely.
I want to make this local government a goat producing local government.
Yes.
And how do I go about it? It must be able to sell it to his people.
Absolutely.
A leader of the nation must be able to tell the people, yes, this is where I'm taking you to. But let me ask you, must every leader, because I see, you will never make the MD of a bank without having a requisite educational and the progression in career.
Absolutely.
And I'm not sure you can bring anybody from being a bank manager to going to become a bank MD.
Absolutely.
There is a progression.
Yes.
In fact, CDN will have to certify your position when you get to maybe AGM or DGM before you become an MD. So there is a requisite qualification. Should every leader, anybody who wants to lead Nigeria, should they go to a particular school to learn leadership?
The interesting thing is that anybody who wants to lead, whether it's a local government, whether even it's a business, you want to run a business, there are specific leadership traits that you must learn. You must learn either through experience, you must learn either through the lives of other people. You must learn either through specific case studies. You must learn through submitting yourself in an institution that has a responsibility, that has been groomed to train leaders. And that's why there are certain individuals in the world who cannot necessarily lead unless they pass through certain kinds of schools. Because in those schools, they are fundamental curriculum that's been designed to help people, for instance, understand the true concept of vision and why vision is important for growth. For instance, you have those institutions teach people how to be the concept of selflessness and legacy living, how to leave a legacy. Take, for instance, my brother, how would you want to lead a local government and you are not prepared in the elements of communication, for instance? How to communicate vision to the local people. You're not gifted in that.
That's supposed to be
it's supposed to be a trait. How do you want to lead politically without compassion?
But unfortunately,
compassion is critical.
Dr. Okorie, the Constitution of Nigeria said the minimum qualification to become even the president of Nigeria is school cert.
So that's why you have to go back to the mindset of the people, the leadership capital of the people that created those types of documents. Because the truth of the matter is that you can must have had school cert as a certificate, right? But you must have also had certain leadership capital. You love people.
But no. So this is the point this is where I'm coming from. Let's say, for example, the governor of a state.
Yes.
Is going to govern and create environment for private sector to thrive.
Absolutely.
Now, if he has never made 1 naira for himself, how does he create an environment? How does he's going to be leading industrialists who are making money. How does he create policy for them when the Constitution says what you need is a school cert?
So that literally has to change, because the intellectual capacity of the leader is important, which means leadership flows to the one who knows, right? But the interesting thing is this, that even when people have PhDs and being professors, that doesn't qualify them to be leaders. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. There must be a balance, right? So if you have intellectual strength, you must also have vision, intelligence.
Should we put people in a room to train them for leadership when they are being elected?
The thing is, like, historically, where are they coming from?
Okay.
For instance, Aristotle, remember him? Socrates, in his days, used to say, go about town saying, make progress in the world and looking for the best practices that are available all over. So when he now is thrown in a place of leadership, whether it's at the local government level, what happens? He already has competencies, he already has capacity, he already has the networks necessary. And he also knows that he cannot do it alone. So he has to learn delegation, the ability to select quality men and women to surround the leader. One of the greatest things that the leader needs is executive intelligence. And part of the critical element of executive intelligence is the ability to assemble quality men who are selfless, who have the capacity to think with competencies to drive the program.
I mean, I was having a conversation, and there was a crop of some guys in the Singaporean cabinet.
Yes.
And most of them, about 90 or 80% of them, have gone through the Kennedy School of Governance.
Absolutely.
And it is not by accident that this is happening.
Yes.
Because they're going to make policy that's going to lead the people, and they've gone to learn how to do that. But in Nigeria, what do we have? I'm so pushed to imagine that we need to take leadership seriously. And when I saw the Brian Tracy program that Brian Tracy is going to talk, I said, that's why I called you.
Yes.
To say you need to come and talk about leadership in our country.
Absolutely.
And that kind of national development that we are talking about, we cannot get it started if you don't fix leadership.
My brother, for 31 years, I've been struggling as an individual voice, saying we must have leadership development effort. Government must invest in leadership development. Institutions must invest. America spends over $180 billion for leadership development. And that is why now we are saying there's a national leadership conference coming up in Abuja at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel on the 20th and 21st of September.
What solution are you proffering?
The solution is leadership capital for wealth creation. Leadership capital for wealth creation. So when there is
solid leadership, there is the automatic activation of wealth.
When there is leadership capital, there is value generation. And the marketplace does not recognize faces, it recognizes only value. And if you have a critical mass of people trained on how to generate value in a sustainable manner, it is the value that is generated, the idea that grows to become a service, that becomes a product. So we must have people who are locked up in a room, thinking innovation, thinking reinvention, thinking re-impacting the system, and building a critical mass of people who have great vision for the future and who are willing to help them. These are big names in leadership development.
Linus Okorie, thank you so much for your effort. And when people are making effort in their own individual capacity, we're encouraged, because our nation must move forward.
And they can actually go to the website, and also my timeline.
On your social media.
On my social media platform, Linus Okorie, and quickly get information.
Linus Okorie is a leadership development consultant. Thank you. I believe so much in Nigeria. I don't know about you. If we come together as a people, believing in what we have as a nation, we will go so far. Thanks so much for watching us. God bless you.